Council Chambers this evening, and we are reconvening the public hearing from the August 17th special meeting. We will only hear from the members of the public that signed up to speak from last night's public hearing, and those folks I will call and are listed on my sheet. If you are listed on the sheet from last night, you can speak in person or online. And as we are, let's see, no, I'm good. So we are reconvening the meeting from last night, so I'm going to start with my speakers. I have Bree Guerra. Is she in the room? Yes. Come on to the podium, and then I will call three, and then the other ones can wait till I call your name. Then I have Jennifer Barney and Danilo Vargas. Not totally yet.
Hi, my name is Bree Garrett. I live in District 3 and I work in District 2. I moved here 5 years ago and I really love living in Greensboro because the city feels so much better planned than what I'd experienced in Texas. Y'all really don't have traffic here at all. It's amazing. There's tons of green space everywhere. I love seeing and living next to all the efforts people have made to preserve the history of this place. It's incredible. And one of my favorite things is every day to work when I drive to my workplace on Cone, I see the cherry trees all planted. They just give me joy every spring. But something else that I see when I drive around, though, is kudzu. We know this is an invasive vine that devours forests. It's important to remember, though, that kudzu was initially intentionally planted by communities to control erosion. It solved a short-term problem, but created a very massive long-term problem that it didn't realize until later. I'm here to ask the Council for a 32-month moratorium on data centers out of concern that these data centers could become like a kudzu that devours our city's resources. You have already heard an earful about the damage that these data centers could bring. I want to highlight some concerns, though, about the exploitative business practices that they also are employing to get built. Data center companies intentionally target lower income and green spaces for development because the real estate is cheaper, but they still get access to all that city's resources. We're already seeing this in the way that there's a disproportionate impact for the currently planned data centers that we'll have on Districts 1 and 2. Allowing these facilities to be built without proper oversight will cause lasting harm to these communities and works against the city's ongoing work in revitalizing those areas as desirable places to live, work, and invest. Furthermore, because data center technology is so new, these companies are taking advantage of the legal gaps in regulation, oversight, and zoning to take what they want before a community fully understands what they're signing up for. You guys have already personally experienced this. While I know it's outside the scope of this moratorium, the Impact Data Center was originally approved in Greensboro for a 9-megawatt facility, but has now been expanded to 20 megawatts. And the company Radine is openly advertising this site in Greensboro as available for expansion for 100 megawatts, seeking investors. While that data center is outside this moratorium, it's important to recognize that they are already pushing your boundaries to see what they can get away with. The company also is involved in a couple legal battles that I wanted to mention to y'all. So they're Radine, the parent company of the Impact Data Center, is involved in a data center in Birmingham. And the lawsuit that's being brought against it alleges that the company pulled some under-the-table real estate deals to artificially inflate the monetary investment to make it look like they put more into the community than they did. The lawsuit also alleges that this data center was inappropriately grandfathered in by the city because the city claimed the project was approved before the passage of a moratorium, which the community did after they found out what was going on, even though in reality, the project actually was still in the process of seeking permits for development when the moratorium passed. So you guys are, even though it looks like some things are in the way, there's these people not being straight with you.
Thank you.
Please look up the North Star Data Impacts Data Center Policy Toolkit. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have Jennifer, Danilo, and then Vessa.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Barney. I live in District 3. I was here yesterday, and while I was listening to everyone speak, I was taking notes. I hope all of you were as well. I made myself a list of all of the possible threats in everyone's complaints from yesterday. That list was 25 items long. 12 of those items were direct threats to health and life safety. And each item on that list was extremely complex, one more than the last. So I don't believe that you all believe that you can actually address all of these concerns and establish proper regulation to protect this community in just 4 months. That is between 80 and 85 business days that would be shared between this situation and this process and all of the other issues going on with the city. And of course, we know there's elections that are going to be happening during this moratorium period as well. And I know that families cannot swing that. They don't have any business days to prepare for these meetings, to do their research, or especially attend these meetings when they happen at 4 p.m. on a weekday. That's extremely difficult for families. They'd be using nights and weekends to prepare for this. They would be definitely forced to sacrifice time with their families to come and participate in these meetings and be a part of this process. And that is not fair at all. It's also not fair to claim that you're including community when you are making it functionally impossible for these people to participate. They make up 54% of the households in Greensboro. That's more than half that cannot fully participate in this process because of a 140-day moratorium. This community deserves more time, and we ask that you give us that. We ask that you give us 32 months. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
And for those watching at home, this is a reconvening of the special meeting last night that was the discussion about a possible draft moratorium on data centers, just to make that clear. Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, council members, I want to start out with gratitude, and I want to say thank you for your hard work and public service. You guys have a hard job, and I don't think the public, we don't get to see all the pressures that you're under, and we understand that. I also know that some of you are new and that this is the most diversity council we've ever had, and that bodes well for Greensboro. There is so much potential here, and all of you are the embodiment of that potential. That's why I hope you'll do the right thing in this moment of truth, that you'll approve the data center moratorium, not just for the 120 days, but for the 32 months that many have suggested here. Let's take our time. Let's have a real hard look at this issue together. You have an opportunity here to get on the right side of history, and as far as the politics of it, this is a slam dunk. Democrats and Republicans alike of all stripes are in surprising and resounding agreement on this issue. And I challenge you, survey the people of Greensboro. Ask whether they want a hyperscale data center in or close to our fair city and see what you get. I think you know that the survey will show that they don't want this. I'm new to Greensboro. I moved here with my wife about a year ago from Miami. And when I tell locals about this move, everybody tells me the same thing. Miami? What the hell are you doing in Greensboro? I tell them, man, you don't know what you have here. This place is beautiful, and the diversity that I see everywhere I go, that's the most beautiful part of it. So you see, I chose Greensboro. And people can call me a silly dreamer, an idealist, a romantic, whatever. But to me, Greensboro can be Dreamsboro for all of its people. That's why I'm here to tell you that hyperscale data centers can be a nightmare. And if you want to understand how bad and how irresponsible all the people pushing this data center bubble are, check out a book by Karen Howe, H-A-O. It's called Empire of AI, Dreams and Nightmares in Sam Altman's OpenAI. By the way, it's not just about Sam Altman. All the players and all the damage that they do are chronicled in that book. Karen Howe uses the word empire very deliberately. You see, empires are built on extraction, and these hyperscale data center developers aren't coming into communities to give. They're coming to take, to extract, to poison, to deplete, and then to move on when the bubble bursts. And what will Greensboro have to show for it when it's all said and done? Whatever is gained may be far outweighed by what is lost, some of it forever. So please, don't let that happen to us. Do the right thing economically, politically, ethically, and morally. Be the public servants we need and elected you to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I have Vissal Misag, Hugh Irish, Nicole Lungerhausen. Are you Nicole? Yes, okay, go ahead and come on. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Lungerhausen. I'm a resident of District 3. My husband, Tal Blevins, and I also own 2 restaurants located in District 3. I'm here today to talk about energy infrastructure and costs around large data centers. First, though, I really want to thank you all, especially Councilmember Parker, for voting to get the ball rolling on a 120-day moratorium and for continuing this public comment. Here are my concerns. First is the infrastructure. Large data centers require vast amounts of power and often need new transmission infrastructure. Without planning prior to projects breaking ground, this higher demand will absolutely overwhelm our power grid. Mandatory impact studies on power consumption, 24/7 monitoring of energy use, and special use provisions need to be adopted. For example, some localities in Virginia are proposing or requiring special use permit applicants to show how electricity will be provided to serve the proposed data center. In addition, a letter from the electric utility also needs to be provided stating that the project will be able to connect to a substation and transmission lines with enough capacity and proximity. My second concern is the cost burden. Duke Power is using data center growth to justify raising rates by up to 20% by 2027. Skyrocketing rates for residential customers is absolutely, understandably, a hot topic right now, but those higher rates will be absolutely passed on to business customers too. This means higher rates will hit families like mine twice as hard, once as residents and again as small business owners. A mega corporation that netted nearly $5 billion last year, expecting their customers to foot the entire bill for data center growth, is unsustainable, unfair, and unacceptable Gilded Age garbage. Data center companies and developers need to pay their own way for 100% of the energy they use, full stop. Many states and communities are proposing to mandate that large data centers bring their own clean energy. Duke recently signed on to the federal ratepayer protection pledge, which is a small, very small step in the right direction. I want to see the City Council support and advocate with our governor and attorney general to have Duke turn this voluntary pledge into a binding contract that they will not shift any of the costs for data center growth onto Greensboro and North Carolina families and small businesses. Well, I'm so grateful for the work this council has done so far around large data centers. 120 days is not long enough to come up with the right regulations for an issue that will have a profound impact on us for years to come.
Thank you.
We need a 32-month moratorium.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I have Kima Leonard, Fonta Dorley, Marcia Phelps, and I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Good afternoon, Council. Thank you again for having us. My name is Kima Leonard. I'm a Greensboro native, Aggie youth organizer, and resident of District 4. And the smart people have already spoken, and I hope you've already listened about the potential effects of the AI, the data centers when it comes to noise pollution, air pollution, water pollution, and how we need a proper land use assessment and impact studies in order to continue to move forward. But I just heard one thing, and I just want to talk about the will of the people, right? I don't know about the science, even though I went to the community, sustainability council. It's still, I have a high school level in terms of environmental science, so I'm not too much familiar with the science of it all. But I do know, and I do see that the people gather here today, the people gather here yesterday, all want 32 months, and I see this as an absolute win for the city council and an absolute win for Greensboro. We just all come together on this issue, just for the will of the people. Now, I tend to use analogies to sort of understand and explain how I view the world, and so I see that Councilwoman Roth, or Mayor Pro Tem Roth, is not here, so we'll just use her as an example. Let's say instead of being our esteemed Mayor Pro Tem, she was an office assistant for a firm of 20 people, and part of her job was to order the catering order for them, the weekly office meeting. Everybody says they want their different orders and things like that, and she's like, you know what, I'm going to order Arby's. And she tells the office manager, the office members, that she's going to order Arby's. And they're like, oh, Denise, I actually don't want that. It's actually against my diet. Oh, Denise, I have some allergy to Arby's. I don't know if I can do that. This, that, the third. And she's like, you know what? I hear you. We're going to do some more workshops. We're going to do some more listening and learning. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to order us Arby's. That wouldn't be a very good office manager. That wouldn't be a very good office assistant. I see this as an absolute win, again, for everybody, just to go ahead and do the 32-month for all the reasons that people have already stated that are very valid. But just if none of those reasons were the case, just for the simple fact that the vast majority of Greensboro wants this 32-month moratorium. I haven't heard anybody speak in opposition of a 32-month moratorium yet. And so with that, I yield back, and I hope that you will go ahead, go farther than the 120 and do that 32. Thank you.
Thank you. After Ms. Fouch, I have Dr. Elma Hairston, Mayara Robertson, Cooper Mertens, Z. Parsons.
Good evening. My name is Marcia Fouch. I live in District 5 of Greensboro. I'm a member of Third Act, North Carolina, the Triad region, which is also a member of the Protect Guilford County Data Center Moratorium Coalition, as well as Guilford Clean Power Now. Third Act is made up of people over 60 years of age, and we focus on protecting democracy and climate. We're also part of the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network. Excuse me. I want to talk to you about this number 32. At the beginning of this year, the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network held a statewide strategy meeting here in East Greensboro. It was a 2-day event with speakers and workshops about AI and data centers, as well as a planning session for people from all over the state. Some of the people in this room were at that meeting. Out of that meeting came our local Protect Guilford County Coalition, and I want to say this very clearly. A ban was never part of the statewide strategy or our Protect Guilford County Coalition. The 32-month moratorium was developed by North Carolina Environmental Justice Network. It's the gold standard for what we need to do to educate and help our communities protect ourselves from the impact of AI and data centers. It was crafted with North Carolina statutes, moratorium limits, as well as input from people who had been involved with moratoriums throughout the state. So 32 is not some random number like 6-7. It is the gold standard for a data center moratorium in North Carolina. And you can see that your 4-month moratorium really does not even get close. It's more of a mini moratorium. Representatives from our coalition continue to meet every 2 weeks with the Environmental Justice Network, led by Dr. Rania Masri, to keep up to date with environmental activists and organizations across the state and find out what is happening in other municipalities. Did you hear that last night Alamance County passed a 12-month moratorium? Can't Greensboro do better than Alamance County? The process you've engaged with us so far does not engender trust. It's clear by the way you've set things up that you really don't want our public participation. We've not seen your moratorium resolution, which you are required to present to the public before you vote. This should have been available before the public hearing yesterday, and I really hope that you don't disregard the process again and vote on the moratorium tonight when it's not, once again, not even on the agenda. So even though you appear to be disregarding us, we are here saying we want to work with you. You're supposed to be our progressive city council, the ones who are not going to do business as usual. This council will ruin any credibility and community trust we have in you if you turn around and pass this mini moratorium after hearing more than 50 people stand before you and say we need 32 months. Don't do us like that. Work with us. 4 months just won't do. We've got to have 32. Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy Johnson. Okay, I'm going to call the names. Those are all the names I have, but I'm going to call again. Is anyone come on Zoom by any chance? Okay, these are the ones I called earlier. Visal Massage, Hugh Irish, Fanta Dorley, Dr. Elma Hairston, Mayara Robertson, Cooper Martens, Z. Parsons, Stacy Johnson. Okay, those are not here, and that is that concludes the public comments. I will now close. Oh, and your name, please. Z, thank you. You can come up to the podium.
Hello, my name is Z Parsons. I live in District 1, and I am here in support of the I can't say it. I just moved here in Greensboro not too long ago. I'm a new resident here, and I am scared. I do not want to live within 2 streets of a data center, because I have seen what happens to other communities, and I have found a city where I like, and I don't want to have to move. But if a data center is built here, I'm not going to want to live here. And I know that that reflects how a lot of other people feel. And a lot of people that have lived here for years. I haven't lived here for years. I lived here for less than half a year. And I'm already considering moving because of stuff like this. And I don't want to move. I like this city. When I moved in, they let me know we have clean drinking water, which is one of the first times that's happened in North Carolina where I've lived. And I thought that was great. And then I hear that we want to build a mega data center like 2-3 streets away from the house that I just moved into. So I believe that not only should we have a 120-day moratorium, but I believe we should have a 32-month moratorium. So with that being said, goodbye.
Thank you. Hi, and your name, please?
Cooper Mertens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I am here to also stand in support of the 32-month moratorium being proposed. I think that not only should a moratorium be proposed, but a full-on ban should be, and I think that if given those 32 months to properly research the negative impacts that such a data center would have on not only our environment, but our city infrastructure, we will see that not only are those 32 months necessary, but a full-out ban is necessary. Already we're seeing the Food and Water Association call for a nationwide moratorium on all of these data centers, because there's simply not enough research out there already to say what the long-lasting impacts on communities as a whole is of centers like this, other than these negative impacts we're seeing on our environment. And that, again, as a resident of District 1, where this center is being proposed to be built, it does not make me feel good about what I'm seeing in terms of growth in my community. So again, I stand with the 32-month moratorium, and I hope that you listen to all of these people that have stood in front of you the last 2 days proposing the exact same thing.
Thank you.
Hi, sorry I'm late to the party. I got here like 10 minutes till the sign-up was over yesterday, and I was held up by a man with a machete at the security, and they obviously handled that, but I couldn't sign up yesterday. So I'm requesting if I could speak today. Obviously it wasn't like a huge machete.
You could have signed up online.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Oh, well, please.
The people. I'll ask for council for a consensus. Nobody speaks. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, guys. Love you. So my name is Marilyn Mendiola Lacunza de la Cruz, and I'm asking you to stop treating this as a question of whether Greensboro is pro or anti-data center. The question before you is much narrower, and it's what exactly is vested? The Dream Center, sorry, I'm short. The Dream Center site at Gateway Research Park is being presented as an existing grandfathered plan, but a site plan is not a blank check for unlimited future expansion. Under North Carolina General Statute 160D-108 and 160D-108.1, vested rights development approvals and changes to an approved project have specific legal boundaries, and Statute 160D-107 requires the city to maintain records concerning development approvals. So I'm asking this council to identify on the record the actual document that establishes the scope of the Dream Center's vested rights. What was approved, on what date, under what ordinance, site plans, permits, development approval, what square footage was approved, what phases were approved, what electrical capacity was actually approved. I'm sorry for the questions. I'm on the spectrum and I always ask why. What conditions were attached and has already been permitted, constructed, or vested, and what is being proposed now that was not part of the original approval? Because those are not the same questions. If the original approval did not specify a megawatt capacity, that does not automatically mean unlimited electrical demand is vested. If additional generators, chillers, substations, electrical infrastructure, buildings, or other material components are now contemplated, the city needs to determine whether those changes remain within the original approval or constitute a new or modified development approval. And the determination needs to come from the city's legal planning authority, not from the assumption that grandfathered means anything goes. The council is also considering a moratorium on a new data center over 10 megawatts. Fine, but a moratorium without findings, definition, scope, and enforcement is not enough. That's why we're asking for 32. I am asking you to direct the staff to produce the complete development record for the Dream Center site, identify the precise legal basis and duration of any vested rights, identify the approved electrical capacity and whether megawatts capacity was ever actually approved, distinguish existing approvals from proposed modifications, and provide City Council with written legal determination before any claim of grandfathering is accepted. And if the city is going to study data centers, then study the actual impacts that everyone here has expressed, demanding a 32 moratorium. Do not let missing numbers on an old site plan become an unlimited number by default. The city has the authority to ask what was actually approved. So tonight, I'm asking you to put the question plainly into record. What exactly is vested and where is the document that proves it? Thank you.
Thank you. I will call the names one more time, and I will remind the audience that there are rules of decorum. You sign up when you come to speak, and yelling out at council is prohibited. So just keep that in mind as this council deliberates concerning this issue in a few minutes. I have Vasal Massage, Hugh Irish, Dr. Elma Hairston, Mayara Robertson, and Stacy Johnson. All right, that concludes our speakers, and those are from yesterday as well. And the public hearing is now closed. It is open for council deliberations. Would council like to have any discussion? Councilmember Black?
I just want the city attorney, we've addressed this several times about the Dream Center. If Madam City Attorney could speak about the Dream Center again so that the public can hear again the status of the Dream Center, because we've got to move on once we provide this information. We did last night. I have been transparent. I think that we have. So to continue the narrative that doesn't hold true, I'm just asking that you give a very clear and precise step by step so that our public can understand where the Dream Center is at this current moment. Please.
Thank you, Councilwoman Black. Well, first of all, the words grandfathered, I guess, were self-imposed on the speakers or maybe the newspapers. Your city attorney has never said that the Dream Center was grandfathered in. The law says that if there was approval of a site or a data center before a local jurisdiction implements a moratorium, that the moratorium does not affect that. At the time that you all started talking about the moratorium, the Dream Center was approved by the Dream Center to build an educational building which encompassed a data center in 115,000 square foot of this educational building was approved by the Gateway Research Center Board. What the city of Greensboro approved was incentives for when they built this. The incentives were based on benchmarks that the developers had to reach in bringing in 28 jobs where the jobs were paying at least $60,000 a year, no less than, I think it was $15 or $17 an hour, and the developers had to invest $108 million or more. What you are dealing with now when it comes to the Dream Center is that the Dream Center developers has not come to the city of Greensboro claiming a vested right. So I'm not sure where that came from. No lawyer for the Dream Center has called me. I have not sat down and talked to anyone about the Dream Center. I've not been in any conversation about the Dream Center or vested right. At where the Dream Center stands now, and as far as the city of Greensboro knows, is there was a site plan that was submitted in July of 2023 that was approved. That site plan expired July of 2025. There has not been another site plan submitted to the city of Greensboro for approval. There has been no building permit for phase 2 of the Gateway Research Education Center that was on an overall plan. There has been no developer that has come and said in my office or anything. So the city of Greensboro has never approved anything when it comes to a data center at this point. What you are approved, what the prior council approved, was incentives. In that resolution and in that contract, that these developers were supposed to start building by December the 31st of 2026. At this point in time, there is no indication that that's happening at all. Questions from the council?
And can we just clarify, if anything moves forward with the Dream Center, who moves that forward?
If something moves forward with the Dream Center as far as building something, a building,
that would be decided by
the Gateway Research Center
Gateway
board.
Research Center.
Right.
Not the city of Greensboro.
Not the city of Greensboro. That land that they are talking about putting a building on is the state of North Carolina land. It is not the city of Greensboro land. That land is zoned as public and institution. So if the developers want to build a front-focused data center, that land is not zoned for a data center. They must build an educational building, or they must apply to have the land rezoned. They would first have to go through the state of North Carolina. They would second have to go through the board of the Gate Center Research Center, whatever it is. And then they would also have to submit another site plan to the city of Greensboro for approval. So there's so many steps that the Dream Center would have to go through to even begin to think about building. And that's where we stand as of today.
Thank you. I hope that answers your questions out in the public. We appreciate advocacy, but we want you to be correct in the advocacy and have the right information. So I hope that helps as you move forward. Thank you.
For those in the audience, if I will, I'm not sure where the 32 months is coming from, but there is no state law that says that there must be 32 months of a moratorium. There's no state law that says that that's the limit, or that's the floor or the ceiling. So I don't know where the 32 months is coming from, but it's not state law.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. Anyone else? Any comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to amend.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to amend something previously adopted by amending Council's motion of August 3rd, 2026, concerning the proposed data center moratorium to strike the reference to a moratorium not exceeding 120 days and a proposed 120-day termination date, and substitute a moratorium period of 180 days and the corresponding termination date.
That is motion by Adam Marshall, seconded by Tammy Thurm. I will do a roll call vote. Councilmember Black? Councilmember Allen? Councilmember Holston?
Aye.
Councilmember Thurm? I am a yes. Councilmember Crawford? Councilmember Marshall?
Aye.
And Councilmember Parker?
Aye.
Councilmember Roth recused herself yesterday. So that does pass on a majority of council. So I will now entertain a motion to adopt the 180-day moratorium. Anyone?
I move to adopt the moratorium ordinance establishing a temporary development moratorium applicable to data center facilities with the electrical power demand exceeding 10 megawatts for the period of 180 days as presented.
Do I hear a second? Seconded by Mrs. Thurm. I will go down the road this way this time. Councilmember Parker? Councilmember Parker? Sure.
I just want to do a stop check because this is happening really fast. First of all, shout out to District 3. I'm really proud of everybody, the way in which we showed up for these last 2 days. For some of the new people that moved back into town, I want to tell you that I raised my kid, who's now 23, in District 1. I was a school librarian in District 2 for about 7-8 years, and I became a homeowner in District 3. And so I think I was put in the seat to do what so many of you all have been doing, which is speaking on the collective health of our entire city. So we're in a good place together, and I'm proud to represent you. Based on our shared lived experiences and understandings, I want to say that the majority of council, we're from some of these neighborhoods. I know that the Lakes live in District 3, and so I understand the assignment based on those experiences, that it's our job to be protective. I wanted to just mention to everybody, I'm okay with missing the data center wave. I want everyone to know that we welcome business in this city that aligns with our growth, and that means job creation and, healing historic harms and growing our tax base, positive things. And that doesn't necessarily, and that means no data centers, right? And so I'm going to go ahead right now and share with you guys a couple of things. Quick wins don't mean quick, what I've learned on my 8-9 month here on City Council. And so with these, so when you have, I'm going to vote for the 180 days because I do think that it puts pressure on city staff to create a product and be protective. And I want everyone to know that these things put into place, they're malleable documents. Policy can be amended, added throughout. So even if we do all of our process and procedure and we put policy into place after the whole thing is finished, we can always add and amend. I also want to tell something to the public. It's just that I don't think there's no place that as my understanding sitting in this seat, that there would be anybody that would have full entitlement. If there was a data center that was going to come across this council's dais in our desk, we understand, we are on the front lines. We understand that. They're not going to get past us. Data centers would need water. They're going to need something from the city. And so I don't see, from my understanding to date, that any proposal would be able to make it past this council. And even though it took us some time to get here, we don't have 5 votes that would support a data center without good policy in place. That, I think, I can speak on our collective behalf. And so we want good business. I personally understand. I'm okay with missing the data center wave, y'all. And so we're going to do this work together. And I just wanted to tell you some of those things that you can't, that we're on the lines. We're on the front lines. And I've been there before. And I'm going to stay here with y'all and protect. So, aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Marshall? Councilmember Crawford? I'm an aye. Councilmember Thurm? Aye. Councilmember Holston?
Aye.
Councilmember Allen?
I'm going to vote yes.
Okay, aye. And Councilmember Black?
Aye.
And I know Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Roth was recused yesterday and still continues today. So she is a recusal, and that passes with majority. Thank you all so very much. Simple majority wins. Thank you. All right. We do need a few minutes to allow GTN and the clerks to reset for the August 18th meeting, which will reconvene in just a few moments. We'll convene in a few moments. To the Tuesday, August 18th, 2026 meeting of the Greensboro City Council. We are in the Katie Dorsett Council Chambers. Let the record reflect that all members are in attendance and that Mayor Pro Tem Roth is on Zoom. We will begin the meeting with a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Marshall, will you lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Please silence any and all electronic devices. The City of Greensboro strongly encourages input from all residents, and the council chambers serve as a welcoming and safe environment for all. The council rules of procedure and decorum are posted on the city website under the City Clerk tab, and all speakers are expected to read and adhere to those rules when addressing the council during any speaking opportunity. To address the council this evening on agenda items, participants must have completed speaker sign-up by 5:30 p.m. Pursuant to the rules prior to the council meeting. Those who registered online should confirm their attendance with Mr. Canapino. All handouts must be given to the city clerk for distribution prior to the start of the council meeting. Speakers may address specific consent or business agenda items with 3 minutes allocated for remarks. All speakers are expected to adhere to the established rules of decorum, and any inappropriate or disruptive conduct will result in immediate removal. A first violation carries a 3-month suspension. A second violation results in a 6-month suspension, and a third violation for any instance involving physical altercations results in a 12-month suspension. Any violation of state criminal laws may also subject the individual to criminal charges, and those suspended from in-person participation will retain the ability to attend virtually via Zoom, and this ensures their right to free speech. If the Zoom speaker violates the rules of procedure and decorum, they will be muted. Speakers may have the city IT team play videos that have already been sent into the city clerk for IT security check. Any videos, media, or supplemental documents during this meeting are not reviewed or verified by the city for accuracy, completeness, or authenticity. The city does not endorse or adopt the content, and all opinions and views expressed are solely those of the speaker. Speakers may not transfer their time to others, and the mayor or presiding officer will determine the speaking order based on the number of speakers. The mayor may modify the time allotted to each individual approaching the dais is not permitted. Speakers may not address the audience nor employees of the city of Greensboro. The public comment period at the first meeting of the month is for speakers to address council members only with their comments and an opportunity for council to listen and take notes. Zoom participants must refrain from speaking until they are recognized and called upon. State statute requires council members to vote on all matters unless a direct financial interest exists or if the council member serves on the board of a nonprofit organization that receives city funding. All motions will be moved and seconded, and the presiding officer will announce the vote tally. The consent agenda, covering items F1 and F2, consists of routine and non-controversial matters that have been previously reviewed by a council committee. Consent agenda items are approved with a single vote. Any council member may request the removal of an item due to a conflict of interest or to vote in opposition. Items withdrawn for discussion will be carried forward to the next business meeting agenda. If an item is found to be time-sensitive, the mayor may request that a vote be taken. Closed captioning is provided for this meeting, and depending on the duration of proceedings, a brief recess is anticipated around 7:30 p.m. Now, for the ceremonial and presentation items, I do believe that we have been waiting for this moment, and I do believe that Mayor Pro Tem Roth is on Zoom and would like to speak. I don't know if she wants to speak before or after. Mayor Pro Tem Roth?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll wait till after. I believe they have a presentation.
All right, super. Okay, we'll go ahead with the presentation and then go back to her.
Mayor Pro Tem, would you like for Aaron Jackson to go first, or would you like to go first? Oops, you're on mute.
I'll defer to Aaron.
Okay, Aaron, go ahead.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, City Council, for having us here, letting us share some of our experiences. Pictures worth 1,000 words, I think. And we're very lucky today to have some of our campers and instructors here with us to celebrate. Really, this is about honoring the young adults who come out and give everything they have for these camps with us, but also the instructors, the firefighters, the administration that make this happen, as well as our community sponsors. Camp Sparks is in its 6th year, and Camp Blaze is in its 2nd, and we have 20-plus campers at each of those camps, and it's projected to keep growing. This has made a huge impact on our community. It filters into our Explorers program that is projected this year to be over 30-plus Explorers here with the Greensboro Fire Department. So truly, it's an honor to be a part of them. It's an honor to stand in this room with you guys, but also with all of these young adults here behind me. They are the real stars of all of this. It is a program I think is going to continue to bring our community together, not only for emergency services, but more importantly, teaching young adults respect, discipline, really what you're capable of. More than anything, that is what we learned, that if you put your mind to it, you can get anything done. So again, thank you for allowing us to come out here. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this and share a little bit of what we do at Camp Spark and Camp Blaze.
Thank you. And thank you to all the instructors and the young people. Okay. That's amazing. Mayor Pro Tem Roth, I know you had a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank the Greensboro Fire Department leadership for the work that they did to bring these camps together. I was just thoroughly impressed. I know that my son is there tonight, Connor Roth, and he participated, and it just came home every day filthy but fulfilled and really proud of the work that he's done. The beautiful thing is we are cultivating young people that are committed to our community and wanting to find ways to serve. And I truly appreciate that our fire department, and I know other departments do similar things, have found ways to invite these young people in to bring forward their energy and their effort and keep it positive. So just wanted to be there to, or at least virtually, to say thank you for that. Thank you for your service, and thank you to these young people that gave their time and that will continue to serve our communities.
Thank you. And thank you all. Did any of the young people want to say a word? Oh, come on. Surely someone.
If we could get a picture with everybody, I think they would.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Awesome. I don't know where we're supposed to sit. Up here? Okay.
And Mayor, I'm not sure if there's someone there who can just give the names of those who lead this program, because they're just really an impressive group.
I'll ask Erin to come up. While she's coming up, I just want to say and take a moment. It's my favorite city department, and I know it's yours now. But we appreciate the support every single day. And I tell you, I should not be standing here, but I'm going to let some of the rock stars take over. It is a department full of rock stars. It is in good hands and touching the lives of these young folks. One group we leave out is the parents. they sacrificed dropping their loved one off at 6:37. I'm not sure what time it was, getting home really late and dirty. We certainly want to recognize the families. I know there's a few in the audience, so we want to say thank you and thank you for your support. Aaron?
So a lot of this is made possible by our administration. We've got Chief Randleman, Chief Church, and Chief Robinson here as well. Without them saying yes, this would not be possible. And supporting all the crazy ideas that the Camp Blaze and Camp Spark committee brings to them and brings to the table. So they are the big players in this game to make it all come together. But we do have a full planning committee, and so to honor those people who are part of it, myself, Aaron Jackson, we have Gina here, she's here, as well as Ariel Patrick is here as well. Those who are not here, we have Captain Ian Trent, Captain Andrew Weldon. We also have firefighter Josh Black, firefighter Alexis, firefighter Stephanie Braden, Stephanie Friel. And we also have, of course, our HR. We have Miss Tracy, Miss Kim, and Jared as well. Make huge impacts. I would also like to recognize Kathy. She is a retired firefighter, but she comes out and helps every year with us. And so it really does take a village. And just as Chief Robinson mentioned, it also takes the parents. Because, yes, they do have to get up early, get their kids here, and then pick them up when they are very tired. We, as firefighters, we don't sit still well. So you better believe we are always moving and always finding ways to stay moving and stay active. So overall, this is a group effort. It does take, as well as our community sponsors that come out here, it takes everyone. So it's not just us at GFD. It is the young adults in the camp. It is the parents and families. It is our firefighters, but it is also our community sponsors that allow this to happen. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And would the families just raise their hands real quick? I know we have a lot of family members in the room. Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Moving on to our consent agenda. Does anyone on council wish to remove any item from the consent agenda due to a conflict of interest or for the purpose of voting no? If none, I would accept a motion to adopt the consent agenda as amended prior to voting. I'm sorry, who made? Oh, Councilmember Parker made a motion. Councilmember Crawford seconded. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem, your vote?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 9-0. All right, so now we will move on to our matters to be discussed by mayor and members of council. All right, Councilmember Crawford.
Very briefly, I do want to thank everyone that came out to talk about the data centers. I don't want to beat a dead horse, right? I think so much has already been said. But as someone who is born and raised in District 2, I really want people to understand that we are taking this very seriously. Like, we cannot say that enough. We really need you to understand that we live in the districts that we know will be impacted by these data centers. And I also want to make sure that you understand we have been working on the ordinances since January. And the reason why we need this moratorium, and we needed it as soon as possible, in my opinion, and it needed to be at least 6 months, in my opinion, is that we wanted to make sure that we had enough time to learn everything that we still had gaps in. And the impact, the environmental impact, is one of the largest ones of those. There are lots of examples across the United States for how to build out a very strategic ordinance around data centers. But we need to take the ones that are the best fit for us and build out what we can do here. And I need people to to understand what is happening at the state level and what is happening at the federal level, and understand that we are doing our best to understand what is coming down the pipeline and what we can push back against. We will do our best and due diligence. We live in the districts that will be impacted by data centers. I cannot emphasize that enough. And you elected us to speak on your behalf in the rooms where we are and legislate for our best interest. So I just don't want people to leave because you didn't get the 32-month moratorium and think that we don't care and that we aren't already doing the work and that we aren't already serious about it. So that's where I wanted to leave it tonight. But as, you know, coming from the organizing side, I really appreciate the work that people did to bring ideas to the table. And we look forward to you continuing to do that as we are building out our land usage and zoning ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Marshall?
Thank you. And that was extremely well said, Councilmember Crawford. I also just wanted to thank everybody who came and voiced their concerns on these issues. We do hear you. We take those concerns to heart. And we have been working on this issue for months. And I think folks need to hear that and know that. You know, I was clear in my comments when I voted against the initial moratorium without the conditions that we have in place today, that I've never been against regulating data centers or any industry. I think we absolutely need to amend our land development ordinance so that we can protect our communities. And we continue to have those discussions. We know it won't please everybody, but we're confident that we have the ability to study this issue and develop good policy and put regulations in place that protect our citizens and still maintain a community that's open for business and a good place for folks to invest in our community. And I'm confident that we can do both of those things.
Councilmember Parker?
I said most of what I have already come to say, but I do want you all to continuously invite me and the leadership of the CSC as you all do your work into the community so they can receive further recommendations. That's also another avenue in which we would receive that as council. So I wanted to give you all a heads up that I and the CSC will come into the community as invited. I also just want to talk about political strategy. I know that collectively everybody has said and organized for encouraging us for the 32 months. I also just want to say that the state is aggressive in some ways around not supporting us being able to take care of home in the way that this council has been elected to see fit. And so I do want to tell you all 32 months might have not been what the state wanted. You know, ultimately they could have made a difference, you know, it could have been flagged. And so I think that making sure everybody's aware of the ability to extend a malleable document, which is the policy that we will put in 6 months after going through the community process. So there's just another thing I wanted to reveal when I gave thought to why we said that we would do it for the 6 months. Thank you.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Roth?
Thank you, Mayor. Apologies. I wanted to appreciate the time tonight. I wanted to just highlight the alert that the manager shared today regarding the concerns raised by the local government commission. I think it's really important for us to highlight this as it's a significant circumstance that we need to ensure that we're keeping a focus on, and it's regarding our financial position and particularly our fund balance and broader fiscal circumstances. I would like to encourage us to consider, and I would recommend us to schedule a work session for council to hear and understand more about what the size of and driver of the structure and balance that the LGC is asking about. I understand there are specific benchmarks that we need to meet by February. I would like to hear more about what those are. In the fiscal stabilization strategy that I assume staff is developing, I do think it's important that we have a distinction and understanding between the one-time versus recurring cost savings. I also think that would be helpful if we consider having some sort of just simple monthly financial dashboard that is taking us between now and the end of the fiscal year so that we can understand how we are doing on that financial trajectory. It seems that the LGC will be looking at us in February, and if I'm reading this correctly, it could approximately have an impact on our $26 million in general obligation bonds. So I do want to just bring a highlight to that. I communicated with the manager about this earlier, as well as the mayor, but I do want to ask that we do just have a time, and I know that the manager and staff is going to have to get their hands around this, but I do think it's something that's important for us to bring in front of council as we go through between now and the end of the fiscal year. Thanks.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you. Councilmember Thurm? Oh, yes, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, Mayor, I would just add a little, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Roth, for raising this. Is a serious matter that we take very seriously. I do want to be responsive to council and let you know just some context to the message that I provided. The previous council entered into an agreement back in 2022 because of concerns at the time from the Local Government Commission as it relates to the percentage of our fund balance. And at the time, it was at the end of FY 2020 and 2021, we were about 21.96%. The Local Government Commission would like to see us around 25%. At the time, the agreement that the council entered into, and I explained in my email that there were certain parameters that we put into place that we would reach our goal of 25% by 2032. And we are on pace to reach that. In one of our recent meetings that our staff had with the Local Government Commission, to include the State Auditor's Office and the Treasurer's, comments were made as it relates to where we are and where we are meeting the goal. So since that time, I've worked with ACM Davis and our folks in finance and our budget and evaluation department to ensure that we are maintaining and meeting those goals. I will tell you that in the previous year, we stepped back a few percentages, which is what probably alerted. But in this year's budget, and I put this in the email to you all, I do want to highlight that this year's budget, we were able to move that needle by about 45% compared to the previous year. So as the numbers go and as we work through that and we get more updates, then we'll make sure that council sees exactly where we are. And I provided you all a chart so that you could see and reflect about the percentage that we're at. But even more importantly, I've reached out to our partners, those governing bodies with the state. We have a few meetings that are setting up to make sure we're proactive, make sure we are staying the course. As Mayor Pro Tem alluded to, there's some significant things that we're looking at, whether it's bonds or just our borrowing capacity as a local government. And we want to make sure that our state partners in those oversight bodies are aware of where we are, what our goals are, and what we're doing to meet them. There will be some things that I'll work with ACM Davis and our staff on to ensure if there are areas that we can reflect some savings internally, even more so than what we reflected this year in the budget, we will do so. We'll have those conversations with council. I hope that within the next 30 days, I can provide you much more detail and more clarity. And as Mayor Pro Tem alluded to, I think a work session will be a great opportunity for us to have that, have information laid out, and I'll continue to keep you updated. And I think there are some other things that were talked about as it relates to regular updates, whether it's a dashboard or just simply ensuring that I update council on the frequency as which we can provide the information. So thank you very much for the opportunity to give that update.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Councilmember Thurm.
as long as we're talking finances, I attended today a webinar about the proposed tax amendments for the Constitution that are on the ballot for this fall and the implications of those tax amendments. One of the recommendations was that city councils throughout the state have a work session on this material so that everyone within the city understands, and so that we can help educate the public on what these two amendments actually mean and what they will do for to our budgets, to the situation that we're facing. And there's some surprising things in there that I was not aware of, and I would like to request that we pursue that. I spoke with Assistant City Manager Davis and gave him the contact information for the folks that conducted the webinar today. I think it's important that as a council we understand what's coming down the pipe, how it will affect both the county and the city, as well as the residents of our community. There's some strong consequences there, and I think that's something we need to be fully informed of. Second topic, I did want to speak about the moratorium just shortly. One of the reasons that I felt strongly that we should be less than the 32 months is because I want to make sure that we stay focused on this issue. It's an important issue. It's a critical issue. If we have 32 months, lots of things are going to come up between now and 32 months from now that will divert our attention, that will pull us in various directions. And I think it's very important that we stay tight and stay focused. If we need to extend the moratorium, we certainly can. But I want to ensure that this council and that our staff and the community stays focused on this critical issue. And I think one way to ensure that we do stay focused is to keep the schedule tight and keep pushing forward. So that was my rationale on this. I appreciate the community's input. We did not take any of, certainly I did not take any of that lightly. And I look forward to working with council and with the community as we move forward to establish these ordinances. That's it for me.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Holston.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First is I want to say congratulations to the whole Greensboro, Guilford County community on the Wyndham Golf Tournament, which is now going to be the Greensboro Open, sponsored by Raymond James. It's going to be an elevated event. It's going to bring even more visitors to our community, those who may just be visiting and some may actually be staying. Looking forward to the enhancement of the golf tournament going into the future. I will say also that the city is working very closely with North Carolina A&T for the upcoming GHO 100th celebration. We know that, and we're all excited. We have seen all the activity, all the ticket sales, all of the energy, all the prices. And we know that that's a great time, but also something that from a city perspective that we need to be planning for an infrastructure. Potentially 200 to 300,000 additional people will be in our community, remembering that our city is 310,000. So we potentially could double our attendance. And so we're planning, the city manager's office, council members, A&T. There's a lot going on behind the scenes so that the engagement, the passion and energy of GHO 100 is a happy and a safe one. Next is we had National Night Out earlier this month, and council members were out and about throughout the community. I had the distinct honor of being in many communities and had a great time, especially those who had the fried fish. And it was delicious, I'll tell you that. I also had the opportunity to be, my police escort was Assistant Chief Stephanie Martis, and that's where I'm going to next. I want to say congratulations to Assistant Chief Stephanie Martis on her recent appointment as Chief of Police for the city of Durham. That's awesome. Looking for great things for her, and wish her well, but also wish her to come back and visit with us sometime. And last but not least, I'll talk about the data center. Again, appreciate and actually expect the passion that we get from our members of our community. A moratorium is a legal pause. It's a legal pause that allows us not to have to accept or approve any data centers during the time of that pause. You've heard earlier that 6 months or 10 months or 12 months or 32 months. 6 months, for me, indicates the sense of urgency that we have about this topic. Not being unrealistic with the time frame, but the sense of urgency to dive in. Some municipalities have chosen not to go with the moratorium first, but they've gone with the land ordinance and the zoning and the buffers and the noise, the text amendments. Here in Greensboro, we've decided as a council that we want, in a sense, the cover of the moratorium so that, again, no acceptances, no approvals, and give us the time to develop those things so that when the moratorium is lifted, it's a whole new world. It's not the world we see today, but it's a whole new world. Noise. We've heard you. I've heard you. Air, water, land, noise, light, the environment. And those are the things that we'll take the time during the moratorium period to put pencil to paper, to connect with the experts, connect with city staff, connect with our residents, and build something that's going to be good for everyone once the moratorium is lifted. And so, again, I'm excited that we have the 180 days, but I said before, the work is just beginning. We have the cover. Now let's do the work and develop the moratorium and the ordinances and the text amendments the way they need to be to protect our residents and protect our community. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Allen?
Yeah, I'll be brief and address the moratorium as well. I think now we're at a starting point. I know folks may be leaving disappointed today. Hopefully they don't disengage. I think if you follow the track of the conversation, we started off with no moratorium. We moved to a proposed moratorium, and then we went beyond that moratorium. So we're to a longer moratorium. So we're having the conversation. It may not be as fast or as folks may like, or it may be faster than folks may like. But I encourage them to stay engaged. You are impacting this conversation, and we've got a lot more work to do. I'm excited that council members are willing to engage in the urgency and to jump in and tackle this issue. So I think this gives us a clear pathway to start doing that. And I'm looking forward to doing that and also making the commitment to be at the table as well so that we can start to get this done. And I think that it's something that I have confidence in my colleagues that we can get done, but we can't do it without the community. So I ask that you stay engaged and involved. We need you, and so we'll continue to have this conversation. I'm grateful for it.
Thank you. Councilmember Black?
I have a couple of things. One, I would like to thank staff for just kind of jumping in on the GEHO excitement. I think we want this celebration to not only be uplifted, but to be recognized for the economic driver that it is in this city, and the amount of money that will be brought to this city in the name of Aggie Pride. And so I thank you all for showing up and having dialogue with us to make sure that we show up as a city too and acknowledge this wonderful event that's coming. So thank you. National Night Out, I had the pleasure of having Assistant Chief Austin as my escort, and he had to take me and the scooter around. And so I appreciate his patience. And yes, the fish was a plus. Somehow Councilmember Holston ended up where I was. So I don't know how that happened, but we did end up in the same place. And I want to offer the same sentiments to now Chief Martis. She is a great person. She is a very dedicated person to the community and will be highly missed in Greensboro. But I wish her all the best, and I know that she will shine in Durham. I've told her to save a seat up there because we're going to come and visit her. Last, I'd like to touch on the data centers. There are a couple of things that I've kind of heard and taken in from what community has said, and I've heard that work sessions aren't at a time where community can be involved. And I want to just say our work sessions are recorded and they are available on GTN. We are now creating a landing page that is specifically for data centers that will keep you updated on how we move our language that we're considering. It'll also show input from the public, and you'll get to see where people are what people are thinking, what input has been given. So I want you to look for that landing page. I also want to thank Assistant City Manager Tiffany Oliva for really working hard around this. We have asked her to, as we hear from you, add this. We need to extend this. We need to change this. And she has moved very quickly and without, any qualms about it to make sure that we are creating a dialogue with you. So I don't want you to think that the work sessions, in my opinion, are us learning together. And we have, instead of having a work session that was filled with water, energy, and noise, all piled in one work session, we have separated those out. So each work session will be about something specific with professionals in that area present in the room so that we can ask questions. I mentioned that the schedule was coming out. I heard that someone said, well, where is it? We are working as fast as we can to get information out to you on this landing page and so that you can have it. It will not start before you know about it. So I want you to have some confidence that we have been working. Councilmember Crawford and I have been in work sessions around data centers in North Carolina and outside of North Carolina for the past 4 or 5 months. So we've brought that information back to council. We have been on webinars with the North Carolina League of Municipalities. So we are doing the work to get that researched information. We are seeking professionals in the specific fields that we want to have information and get more knowledge about. And we're asking you to come with us during this time period. And if we get to a point to where we need to add more time, we will. I think that we can do this in 6 months. And I think that once you see how we have this laid out, you will feel more comfortable about it. I understand. I always talk about Community Crystal. I'm not far from being Community Crystal as Councilmember Black. So I understand not knowing and having some unknown, but we're asking for trust. And I know that's difficult, but at the same time, we're going to show you that this is a partnership and not an us versus them. And I look forward to the continued dialogue. The last thing I want to say is District 1, I am in constant communication with District 1 and about the Dream Center. We have an environmental justice team that has advocated for Bingham Park. We have a very active community in District 1. And you may not see them here in the noise of the microphones, but they are very aware of what's going on in District 1 as opposed to the Dream Center. The communication around it has been consistent. I try to keep them updated on it, and maybe that may be a fallacy on my end of why people aren't aware of what's going on with the Dream Center. So that's why I wanted to bring clarity to you all, because I have communicated to the folks in District 1 about what's happening with Dream Center, but the broader community also needs to know that as well. So that is my purpose for having a lot of that clarity done tonight, and I hope and wish that you will continue this journey with us. I think that this is going to be something that we all will be proud of in the end. So thank you, and that's all I have.
All right, Councilmember Marshall had a question, and then I have some very brief comments, and we can move on.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to ask a couple questions of city management, particularly ACM Harrell, on something that's come up really came up a lot yesterday in conjunction with the discussions around data centers. We heard a lot about flock cameras. And I know that is another one of those hot topics around the country. But it's my understanding that we do not have a contract with flock in this city. We do not have flock cameras. We have license plate readers that are really looking for or trying to connect with the National Crime Information Center. And we have a policy that material is not kept for more than 30 days unless it's subject to some sort of criminal investigation, which may warrant some keeping that a little bit longer. But can you clarify what we have, what we don't have, and just kind of let the public know kind of what our policy is around these cameras? Because I'm seeing it all over social media. We heard about it yesterday. You know, while we're working to correct misinformation and help educate the community as well, if you could speak to that, I think that would be very helpful.
Sure. We haven't had a contract with Flock since the end of 2025. I believe it was October. They were slow to come and pick up their cameras, but we did not have a contract with them. We were not sending any data to them, nothing like that. We have Ricotta cameras now, which is not associated with Flock. We do have the LPRs, and the policy says that we do not keep the data longer than 30 days. Unless, like you said, it's tied to a criminal investigation, and in that case, it's still purged from the LPR system. We keep it in a different way in our records management system associated with that case file. So in all cases, the data is purged from the LPR system after 30 days. We have a very strict policy that, as you mentioned, I provided to you around how we share that data. We don't share it with anyone other than another law enforcement agency if they requested it. It doesn't go into a cloud somewhere, nothing along those lines. So we have a very, very secure LPR system in the city.
And cameras that folks may see on private property, different businesses around the community, they may be their cameras, correct? I mean, those are not city cameras.
They're not city cameras. We do have a policy where you can have your camera registered and or tapped into our ARTIC system so that we can use it. If a crime occurred in that area, we wouldn't just get on there and look at it. But that's up to that private business. And any business can have any camera that they want on private property.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. And I just had a few comments. The Wyndham, of course, was amazing, and I want everyone to know the economic impact that it has for the city of Greensboro, because thousands of people come to visit. What impresses me the most is the last Wyndham had over 1,800 volunteers, and that is volunteers from our community who believe so much in it. So I appreciate the state recognizing that and giving the millions of dollars to keep it here. That certainly helps. And I believe it was $40 million, $10 million for each year. And also, you know, the community is just absolutely thrilled every time it comes and we kind of roll out the red carpet, very much like we do for the homecoming and GEHO, and now we've got the 100th year of GEHO. So Greensboro has some great events. I don't want anyone to forget about the North Carolina Folk Festival that's coming up, September 18th, 19th, 20th. I believe those are the correct dates. And then I just had a few things. A few of us were at the Honda Jet Tour today, Mr. Holston, Mrs. Thurman, and I. And also, we had, I went and visited the model railroaders over at the depot, and I want to let you know, I put it on my Facebook so you can go there. I won't have to talk about it very long, but it's amazing. There's a room probably this big, and it is full of model railroads, and they are fascinating. They are, they make them, you know, like streets in Greensboro and streets in Burlington and Alamance County. It's fascinating. So if you ever get a chance, please go by there. And if that's all that matters to be discussed by us, then I will move on to the public hearing. Is everyone good about that? Okay. This is the time for our public hearing items. We will go to item I1, public hearing for an ordinance annexing territory into the corporate limits for the property located at 4931 ZZ and 4937 ZZ, Hackamore Road, 17.14 acres, Bradford Deaton of Cross Point Homes and Carol Shelton Brewer. And item I2, public hearing for an ordinance for original zoning and rezoning for 3663 Lewiston Road and 4931 ZZ and 4937 ZZ, Hackamore Road, Bradford Deaton of Cross Point Homes, on behalf of Carol Shelton Brewer. All right, Mr. Kirkman.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Abswaiter, and good evening, members of City Council. The request we have before us is a combination of an annexation, original zoning, and rezoning of property currently from County CZ PDR, which is Conditional Zoning Plan Development Residential, and that's a mouthful, and City R3 Residential Single Family to PUD Planned Unit Development. North of this request is currently zoned County RS40 Residential Single Family. East of the request is zoned City R3 as well as County RS40, again residential single family. South of the request is zoned City R3. West of the request is zoned City R3 as well as City PNR Parkland and Natural Resources. The subject properties are currently undeveloped at this time. North of the request are single family homes. East and south of the request are single family homes as well as common elements for adjacent subdivision. West of the request are single family homes, common elements, as well as drainageway and open space. The properties are designated as residential on the future land use map of the comprehensive plan and as urban general on the future built form map. This is a conditional zoning application. These are the conditions that are associated with this request. You note in your information that some of these conditions were added at the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I'm sure the applicant will speak further to that if you have questions. Oops. Again, this is a plan unit development, so it has an associated unified development plan. This unified development plan was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission as part of their actions on their July 20th meeting. This particular plan, the highlighted green areas were showing the additional buffers that were added as conditions as part of that hearing. So in recommending approval of this, staff notes that this request does support the comprehensive plan's filling our framework, big idea to arrange our land uses for where we live, work, attend school, shop, and enjoy our free time, to create a more vibrant and livable Greensboro, and the Creating Great Places goal to create a citywide network of unique neighborhoods offering residents of all walks of life a variety of quality housing choices. The Planned Unit Development District as condition permits a mixture of residential uses that are compatible with those in the adjacent areas, and again, staff is recommending approval of the request. The Planning and Zoning Commission heard these items at their July 20th meeting and recommended in favor of the annexation and the zoning actions. At that hearing, there were 2 speakers in favor of the request and 4 in opposition. Okay, answer any questions.
Any questions from council? Hearing none, I do have 3 speakers, but we do have no one in opposition. Do the speakers still wish to speak? Go ahead. You have 15 minutes.
I have a full presentation I'm Brad Deaton.
Sure.
Address is 1400 Battleground Avenue. Do you have a full presentation if we'd like to see it? The map that I sent out to the members of council would
you like to see it?
Show what our last version was. Do you want to see the whole presentation?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you.
All right. I'll just click this to move forward. Be up here. Okay. Great. Madam Mayor, members of council, I just appreciate this opportunity to speak on our zoning request. I do want to thank staff for walking us through the 2 continuances we had through the zoning process, as well as the residents. The residents were great in this particular zoning. I met with them on multiple occasions, and that's where you'll see some of the changes that we made along the way. A little bit about Cross Point Homes. We were established here in Greensboro in 2017. We're locally owned and operated and primarily operate only in Greensboro right now. Our mission is to deliver a new standard of living by integrating thoughtful home design, quality craftsmanship, purposeful technology into masterfully planned neighborhoods. I can let you see that there. So we currently have 2 projects that are underway. One is an 81 townhome development on Lewiston. It's called Canner Park. The second one is Berry Hill. It's a 48-unit townhome. It's currently in development on Brigham Road. We have 2 completed projects, 90 single-family homes on Bridleton Ridge, which was also on Lewiston, and Cannon Crossing, which was an 80-unit townhome development on Mears Chapel. We're here requesting zoning change from R3 residential single-family and county CZ-PDR to city PUD planned unit development. Our original request was no more than 175 homes, and a maximum of 120 of those being townhomes. This total project site is 35.5 acres, and that gives a proposed density of 4.9 units per acre. I've identified the properties 1, 2, and 3 on the map, and I'll reference those here in just a few minutes as well. Again, we did have to submit a unified development plan with this proposal. This was the original, which was approved back in May, I think it was, with the revised one. The revised one was since then from TRC. We will still make additional amendments if we need to tonight, and make those prior to recording at the point in time we need to do that. One of our first steps when we look at a piece of property is to look at the comprehensive plan. Where do we fit in that? How does it work? And so parcel 1 is actually located in the city of Greensboro. It's located in the urban general future land use, which allows residential uses including single family as well as multifamily housing types. The 2 other parcels are located in Guilford County. They were both in growth tier 1, which is an area where the city is currently able to provide all city services, including water and sewer services based on location of existing infrastructure, including roads and fire stations. So we feel that this proposal fits well within the comprehensive plan. As I stated earlier, the community meetings was a huge piece of what we've done so far. We mailed out community meeting invitation letters to all property owners within the 750 feet notification area. As required by the City of Greensboro on May 7th, 2026, 196 notices were mailed out. We hosted our community meeting via Zoom at 5:30 p.m. on May 13th. 17 people participated in that meeting, and there were 3, which we'll see on the map shortly. There are 3 different community areas. One is the existing northwest section, Jessup Grove. One is where we'll connect into on the southern side of the site, and then the Hackamore area residents as well. So we're 3 different groups that we dealt with and met with and became friends with through this process. Like I said, there were multiple subsequent meetings that were held with the 3 different neighborhood groups. The results of those summary was we limited the residential uses to just single family and townhomes. We took out apartments and condos and those types of uses. We added buffers along the 2 existing homes that are in the first phase of what was this original development. I'll show that on the map in a little bit. A buffer was added along the northern property boundary near the Hackamore neighborhood. We agreed to communicate with neighbors to coordinate the buffer design. So several of the meetings were actually on homeowners' properties that we met with, we had surveyed distances that we showed this is where the buffers would be, this is what a 30-foot buffer really looks like. There will be trees that could be saved, and we may have to supplement that with new landscaping as well. And they understand that, and we're going to work with them as we get to that point in our design. We agreed to evaluate street calming devices. That was a big issue that the residents had brought up. We agreed to evaluate street calming devices where practical and coordinate with city staff. We've had preliminary conversations. We're kind of limited on what we can do because this one road is a thoroughfare road or a collector, but we will see what we can do along the way. And then lastly, one of the big concerns was lighting. The back of the property sits up higher than the Hackamore area, and we explained that the lighting would be per City of Greensboro and Duke Energy standards, and that it would be similar to lighting in our Bridleton Ridge and Cannon Crossing developments. And we used both of those properties and projects as this is what we've done and this is what we're going to do, something very similar. So they had the opportunity to go visit those properties. And one was just a quarter mile down the road from where they live. This is our concept plan, and I think I emailed this to all members, and I hope you did receive that, but this is the version that shows the buffers. So the concept shows a mix of single-family detached and townhomes. The buffers have been added along the eastern boundary next to the existing single-family and also along the northern boundary adjacent to the Hackamore Road neighborhood. There's another piece that's actually on the northern boundary next to Mr. Carter's property that is a continuation of one of those buffers that I want to make sure gets on the plan as well when we go to record it. It is shown on the amendments. In conclusion, our proposed project provides a variety of housing types which meet City of Greensboro goals. Our proposed project provides housing supply to meet the growing needs of Greensboro in a well-thought-out and masterfully planned neighborhood. Thank you for your consideration. This shows some pictures of the two completed projects, Bridleton Ridge and Cannon Crossing. And this project will take and glean from a lot of these different pictures. So I'll open for any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any questions? Ms. Thurm?
I have a question, but it's actually for Ms. Cockburn. That's regarding road and traffic related to this. I saw some of the comments in the minutes of the zoning meeting relating to traffic and car counts and those kinds of things. And I went out and drove the area this past weekend, and it dawned on me, and I wanted to check with you. When we do traffic analysis, we look at what's existing, what's under construction, and the proposed project. Do they also consider projects that have been approved but are not yet started construction? Because there's so much growth in that area that I just want to make sure I understand how all that comes together.
Sure. I'm happy to give you a little insight into how we prepare the scope for those traffic analysis documents. So we take into consideration all those things that you described, what's happened, what's been constructed, what's being proposed, but we also are very careful to ensure that anything that is already in the pipeline is also being reflected. And that's part of the scoping process that we go through in conjunction with NCDOT so that we can come up with an appropriate set of analysis locations. That includes what intersections to count and study, but it also includes what other parts of the road network need to be incorporated as part of the scope. So sometimes that shrinks, sometimes that gets bigger, depending on the specifics of the location. But all of those things are taken into consideration. And as we have additional traffic information, that is also provided to the consultants who are preparing the traffic analysis so that they have the results of the other work that's been done previously. So all of that is taken into consideration. This has come up in a couple other zoning cases recently where we've had to sort of walk through how we take that holistic approach into understanding how traffic is changing as development occurs.
Thank you. That's really helpful. It's one of those questions that you always go back. I go back and doubt myself and went, wait a minute, what did we say about that? And that's very helpful. Thank you.
Sure.
Your other developments in the area are very, very nice and very impressive, and thank you for wanting to build more in our community.
Thank you. I also have public hearing Diane Brown and Nick Blackwood, but if they wanted to speak.
Dion is our traffic consultant, so if there were any questions, so she's with us.
Any questions? Sure.
I think Nick has a presentation later.
Okay, great.
You didn't want to say anything different.
Okay. All right. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry. That's on I-6. I apologize. All right. So I would like a motion to close the public hearing. All in favor, please say aye. I would like a motion to adopt the ordinance item I-1.
So moved.
Moved by moved by Councilmember Thurm, seconded by Councilmember Holston. Council, please vote. Council Mayor Pro Tem Roth. She may
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, aye.
Thank you. So she votes aye, and that carries 9-0. Now I would like to ask for a motion to adopt ordinance item I-2. So moved. Requires statement of consistency, please.
The Greensboro City Council believes that its action to approve the original zoning and rezoning request for the properties at 3663 Lewiston Road and 4931 ZZ and 4937 ZZ Hackamore Road from County CZ PDR and City R3 to City PUD to be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 Comprehensive Plan, and considers the actions taken to be reasonable and in the public interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the comprehensive plan's future built form map and future land use map. The proposed city PUD zoning district as condition permits uses that fit the context of the surrounding area and limits negative impacts on adjacent properties. And 3, the request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and other attributes of the area. It will benefit the property owner and surrounding community, and approval is in the public interest.
Do I hear a second? Seconded by Councilmember Holston. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem Roth?
Aye.
And that carries 9-0. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to, let's see. Item I3, public hearing for an ordinance annexing territory into the corporate limits for the property located at 5503 Burlington Road and a portion of Burlington Road right-of-way, 5.78 acres. Richard Knight of Tiara Properties, LLC. And item I4, public hearing for an ordinance for original zoning for the property at 5503 Burlington Road. Richard Knight of Tiara Properties, LLC. And item I5, public hearing for an ordinance for original zoning for a portion of Burlington Road right-of-way, City of Greensboro. Mr. Kirkman?
Yes, again, thank you, Mayor Boozwayer. The request is to annex this property into the city and establish original zoning from County AG to City Conditional District RM8 Residential Multifamily. As a result of the action of bringing this property in, then a small portion of the Burlington Road right-of-way would also come in as part of that action, but that would require a separate zoning designation, which is to be to the light industrial to match the uses to the south. North of and west of the request is currently zoned County AG. East of the request is zoned City, CDCM, and County AG, as well as also County CZLI, Conditional Zoning Light Industrial. South of the request is zoned City Light Industrial and County RS40. The subject property is currently undeveloped at this time. North of the request are single-family dwellings and outdoor storage. East of the request are single-family dwellings, outdoor storage, and an office use. South of the request are single-family dwellings and warehousing. West of the request are single-family dwellings and undeveloped land. The subject property is designated as residential on the future land use map of the comprehensive plan and as urban general on the future built form map. This is, again, a conditional application, and this is the condition associated with the request. In recommending approval, staff notes that this request does support the comprehensive plan's Creating Great Places goal to expand Greensboro's citywide network of unique neighborhoods, offering residents of all walks of life a variety of quality housing choices, and the filling in our framework big idea to arrange our land uses for where we live, work, attend school, shop, and enjoy our free time to create a more vibrant and livable Greensboro. The proposed CDRM district as condition offers a range of residential uses that are similar to surrounding uses in the area. And again, staff is recommending approval of the request. These items were heard at the July 20th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, and the commission unanimously recommended the annexation and zoning actions, and there were no speakers at that hearing. I can answer any questions.
Any questions from council? And I don't have anyone signed up for the public hearing, so I would ask for a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Holston, seconded by, oh, I'm so sorry. I couldn't hear. Councilmember Allen, and seconded by Councilmember Marshall. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 9-0. Now I need a motion to adopt item I-4, and that requires a statement of consistency. Moved by Councilmember Allen, seconded by Councilmember Holston. Councilmember Allen.
The Greensboro City Council believes that the actions approved the original zoning and rezoning request of the property of 5503 Burlington Road from County AG to City CD RM8 be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 comprehensive plan and considers the action taken to be reasonable and in the public interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the comprehensive plan, future built form map, and future land use map. The proposed city CDRM 8 as condition permits use that fits the context and the surrounding area and limits negative impact of adjacent properties, and the request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and the attributes of the area, and it will benefit the property owners and surrounding community and approved in the public interest.
Thank you. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem Roth?
Aye.
Mine didn't come up. We could do a voice vote if not. Our screens aren't working. There it goes. We've got it now. And that carries 9-0. Thank you so much. All right, then I need a motion to adopt item I-5.
So moved.
And that also requires statement of consistency.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Greensboro City Council believes that its action to approve the original zoning request for the property at a portion of Burlington Road right-of-way from County AG Agricultural to City LI Light Industrial to be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 comprehensive plan, and considers the action taken to be reasonable and in the public interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the comprehensive plan's future built form map and future land use map. The proposed city LI permits uses that fit the context of the surrounding area and limits negative impacts on adjacent properties. And the request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and other attributes of the area. It would benefit the property owner and surrounding community, and approval is in the public interest.
I need a second, please. Seconded by Councilmember Thurm. Mayor Pro Tem Roth?
Aye.
Thank you. And that also carries 9-0. Thank you all so much. We'll move on to item I-6, public hearing for an ordinance annexing territory into the corporate limits for property located at 1340 Village Road, 21.45 acres, Zachary Tran of Gardenia GSO LLC. And item I-7, public hearing for an ordinance for original zoning for property at 1340 Village Road, Nick Blackwood for Zach Tran of Gardenia GSO LLC. Mr. Kirkman.
Madam Mayor, before Mr. Kirkman gets started, my law firm does work with the applicant as well, so I'm going to ask for a recusal on both I-6 and I-7.
Sure. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Kirkman. Yes. Do I hear a motion? I thought I heard a motion down here. Moved by Mrs. Thurm, seconded by Mr. Holston. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, Mr. Kirkman.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Again, the request is for annexation and original zoning from County AG Agricultural to City CD RM18 Conditional District Residential Multifamily. North of this request is currently zoned County AG. East of the request is zoned County RM18MH, which is residential multifamily with a manufactured home overlay. South of the request is zone county AG, as well as city PUD, planned unit development. West of the request is zone city PUD and city LI light industrial. The subject property is currently undeveloped. North and west request is also undeveloped land at this time. East request is a manufactured home park, and south request is partially cleared land as well as undeveloped land. Property is designated as residential on the future land use map of the comprehensive plan and as exurban on the future built form map. I would note that if the council approves the action tonight, that classification will change to urban general classification. Again, this is a conditional application, and these are the conditions that were associated with the request. Staff notes that this request does support the comprehensive plan's Creating Great Places goal to expand Greensboro's citywide network of unique neighborhoods, offering residents of all walks of life a variety of quality housing choices, and the filling in our framework big idea to arrange our land uses for where we live, work, attend school, shop, and enjoy our free time to create a more vibrant and livable Greensboro. The proposed CDRM18 district allows a range of residential uses that are compatible with surrounding uses in the area, and staff is recommending approval of the request. This item was heard at the July 20th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The commission did recommend in favor of the annexation and zoning. One person spoke in favor of the request and none in opposition. I can answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, we do have Mr. Blackwood, if you would like to come up to the podium. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, my name is Nick Blackwood, 804 Green Valley Road here in Greensboro, here on behalf of the applicant. This request is really to fold in an additional 55 units into the previously approved residential development right next door. We'll be taking access through that existing development, so no material impacts on folks outside of this existing approved residential community. So just wanted to make myself available for any questions that council may have.
All right, any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to close the public hearing. Moved by Mr. Holston. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Mrs. Thurm. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, I need a motion to adopt item I-6. Moved by Councilmember Black. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Councilmember Crawford. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem Roth?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 8-0 with the one recusal. Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance item I-7, and that does require a statement of consistency.
So moved.
Councilmember Black? Seconded by Councilmember Allen. Councilmember Black?
Greensboro City Council believes that its action to approve the original zoning request for the property at 1340 Village Road from County AG to City CD RM 18 to be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 comprehensive plan and considers the action taken to be reasonable in the public's interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the comprehensive plan's future built form map and future land use map. The proposed city CDRM 18 as conditioned permits uses that fit the context of the surrounding area and limits negative impact on the adjacent properties. The request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and other attributes of the area. It will benefit the property owner and surrounding community, and approval is in the public's interest.
All right. Let's see. I have a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem Roth?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 8-0 with the one recusal. Thank you all. I do believe we will take a very short 10-minute break. No. You don't want to? Council doesn't want to? Keep going? Is that the consensus? We're so close. Okay. We will keep going then. All right. Thank you. Okay. And let's do the clerk's duty. No, they're fine. They're fine. Let's power through then.
I'm here for you.
I'm here for you too. So here we go. All right. Item I-8, public hearing for an ordinance annexing territory into the corporate limits for the property located at 4500, 4512, 4520, and 4600 High Cone Road, and a portion of High Cone Road right-of-way, 21.09 acres. Chris Bryant and others. And item I-9, public hearing for an ordinance for original zoning for 4500, 4512, 4520, and 4600 High Cone Road. Mark Isaacson on behalf of Chris Bryant of Bryan Properties and others. And item I-10, public hearing for an ordinance for original zoning for portion of High Cone Road right-of-way, the city of Greensboro. Yes, Mr. Kirkman.
Yes, thank you again, Mayor. Again, the request is annexation and original zoning from County CZHB, Conditional Zoning Highway Business, to City CDCM, Conditional District Commercial Medium. As with another case, because there is intervening property between the city limits and this property, we are also bringing in a portion of right-of-way, and that one would be zoned to commercial medium. North of the request is currently zoned a combination of City O office, County CZRS3, which is conditional zoning residential single family, and County AG agricultural. East request is zoned City CDRM12, conditional district residential multifamily. South request is zoned City CDRM8. West request is zoned County RS30 residential single family and County RS30MH residential single family with a manufactured home overlay. The subject property is currently undeveloped at this time. North of the request are single-family dwellings, as well as a personal and professional service use of vet service and undeveloped land. East and south of the request are multifamily dwellings, and west request are single-family dwellings and undeveloped land. Property is designated as residential on the future land use map of the comprehensive plan and as urban general on the future built form map. This is a conditional zoning application, and this is the condition that was advertised as part of the hearing this evening. Staff notes that this request does support the comprehensive plan's growing economic competitiveness big idea to build a prosperous and resilient economy that creates equitable opportunities to succeed, and the filling in our framework goal to arrange land uses for a more vibrant and livable Greensboro. The proposed City CDCM district as condition allows a variety of commercial, retail, office, and service uses that are compatible with uses present on adjacent tracts, and staff is recommending approval of the request. These items were heard by the Planning and Zoning Commission at their July 20th meeting, and the Commission did vote unanimously to recommend both the annexation and the zoning requests. At that hearing, there was one speaker in favor and none in opposition. I can answer any questions.
All right, any questions? Hearing none, I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here? Mr. Blackwood?
Madam Mayor and Council, again, this is Nick Blackwood, 804 Green Valley Road, here on behalf of the applicant C.F. Smith Development Company. John Parker with C.F. Smith made the trip this evening, so if you have any questions, he's ready and able to try to address those questions. This property is already zoned for this type of commercial use in the county, so really the reasoning for this request and the annexation is to allow for the extension of public utilities to service the site so it can be developed to its highest and best use. So that's the nature of the request, and again, Mr. Parker's here for any questions, as am I, should the council have any.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. But
Sure.
can I say something really
Sure.
quick? I'm really excited about what's going on out here. That is dead center in the middle of communities that have been asking for this kind of retail and opportunity to grocery stores. So I'm really happy to see that they're going to get what it is that they've been asking for. The area of Reed Ford.
Oh, your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
It's on?
Do I need to yell?
No.
Sorry.
Get closer.
Usually I'm so loud. But I think that this is going to give the opportunity for the retail and the grocery that the areas of Reedy Fork, Nealtown, Briar, Moore, High Cone, McKnight Mill, like just trying to think of all of the communities around that have been asking for this kind of grocery store and retail. So I'm really
excited to see this kind of investment in District 2. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, I will now ask for a motion to close the public hearing. Moved by Councilmember Thurm, seconded by Councilmember Holston. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And that carries unanimously. Now I would ask for a motion to adopt the ordinance, item I-8. Moved by Councilmember Marshall, seconded by Councilmember Crawford. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 9-0. Now a motion to adopt the ordinance item I-9, which will require the statement of consistency. Moved by Councilmember Marshall, seconded by Councilmember Crawford. Councilmember Marshall.
The Greensboro City Council believes that its action to approve the original zoning request for the properties at 4500, 4512, 4520, and 4600 High Cone Road from County CZHB, Conditional Zoning Highway Business, to City CDCM, Conditional District Commercial Medium, to be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 Comprehensive Plan, and considers the action taken to be reasonable and in the public interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the Comprehensive Plan's future built form map and future land use map. The proposed city CDCM, as conditioned, permits uses that fit the context of the surrounding area and limits negative impacts on adjacent properties. The request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and other attributes of the area. It will benefit the property owner and surrounding community, and approval is in the public interest.
All right, council, please vote. Oops. Where have you voted on it? Mayor Pro Tem?
Aye.
And that carries 9-0. Now I would like a motion to adopt the ordinance item I-10, which also requires statement of consistency. Moved by Councilmember Crawford. Do I hear a second? Second by Councilmember Allen. Councilmember Crawford.
The Greensboro City Council believes that its action to approve the original zoning request for the property at a portion of High Cone Road right away from County CZHB Conditional Zoning Highway Business to City CM Commercial Medium to be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 Comprehensive Plan, and considers the action taken to be reasonable and in the public interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the Comprehensive Plan's future built form map and future land use map. The proposed City CM permits uses that fit the context of the surrounding area and limits negative impacts on adjacent properties. 3, the request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and other attributes of the area. It will benefit the property owner and surrounding community, and approval is in the public interest. Other factors,
You good? Okay, council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem?
Aye.
Thank you. And that passes 9-0. All right, moving on to item I-11, public hearing for an ordinance annexing territory into the corporate limits for the properties located at 1515 Stewart Mill Road and a portion of right-of-way, 1.935 acres, City of Greensboro. And item I-12, public hearing for an ordinance for original zoning for 1515 Stewart Mill Road and a portion of right-of-way, City of Greensboro. Mr. Kirkman.
Yes, thank you. Again, the request is to bring this property into the city through annexation and establish original city zoning from County CZRS 5 Conditional Zoning Residential Single Family and AGSP Agricultural with Special Use Permit to City LI Light Industrial. North, east, and south of the request are currently zoned County AG Agricultural. West request is zoned City PI Public and Institutional. The subject property is currently undeveloped. North of the request are a single-family dwelling as well as a solar farm. East and south of the request also contain a solar farm. West of the request contains a city wastewater lift station. The subject property currently is designated residential on the comprehensive plan's future land use map and is urban general on the future built form map. This is a straight zoning application, so there's no conditions associated with this. Staff notes this request does support the comprehensive plan's filling in our framework big idea to arrange our land uses to create a more vibrant and livable Greensboro, and the growing economic competitiveness big idea to build a prosperous, resilient economy that creates equitable opportunities to succeed. The proposed city LI zoning district allows land uses that in their normal operations have little or no adverse impact on adjoining properties, and staff is recommending approval of the request. This item was heard at the July 20th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The commission unanimously recommended the annexation and zoning, and there were no speakers at that hearing. If you have any questions.
All right, any questions from council? Hearing none, I would accept a motion. Moved by Councilmember Thurm, seconded by Councilmember Holston. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem? Yes. Thank you. And that carries 9-0. Now I would like to ask for a motion to adopt the ordinance, item I-12, and this will require statement of consistency. Moved by Councilmember Thurm. Do I hear a second? Second by Councilmember Black. Councilmember Thurm.
The Greensboro City Council believes that its action to approve the original zoning request for the property at 1515 Stewart Mill Road and a portion of Stewart Mill Road right-of-way from County CZRS 5 and County AGSP to City LI to be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 Comprehensive Plan, and considers the action taken to be reasonable and in the public interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the Comprehensive Plan's future built form map and future land use map. The proposed City LI permits uses that fit the context of the surrounding area and limits negative impacts on adjacent properties. The request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and other attributes of the area. It will benefit the property owner and surrounding community, and approval is in the public interest.
Thank you. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 9-0. Thank you, Council. One moment. All right, moving on to item I-13, public hearing for an ordinance annexing territory into the corporate limits for the property located at 1410 Stewart Mill Road and a portion of Creek Road right-of-way, 1.5 acres, Janice L. Preston and Carl Preston Lynn Jr., William Bryan Lanning, and item I-14, public hearing for an ordinance in the original zoning for 1410 Stewart Mill Road and a portion of Creek Road right-of-way, David Riley for Brad McCoy, on behalf of Janice L. Lynn and others. Mr. Kirkman.
Yes, again, the request is for annexation and original zoning from County AG Agricultural to City R3 Residential Single Family. North, east, and south of the request is currently zoned County AG. West of the request is zoned County AG as well as County CZLI Conditional Zoning Light Industrial. The subject property is currently undeveloped. North, east, and west of the request are single-family dwellings. South of the request is a single-family dwelling as well as undeveloped land with a creek. The property is designated mostly residential but also industrial on the future land use map of the comprehensive plan, and also splits between urban general and industrial on the future built form map. This is a straight zoning application, so there's no conditions with this one. Staff notes that the request does support the comprehensive plan's Creating Great Places goal to expand Greensboro's citywide network of unique neighborhoods, offering residents of all walks of life a variety of quality housing choices, and the filling in our framework big idea to arrange our land uses for where we live, work, attend school, shop, and enjoy our free time to create a more vibrant and livable Greensboro. The proposed R3 zoning district allows uses that are similar to existing uses in the surrounding area, and again, staff is recommending approval of the request. The item was heard at the July 20th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The commission did vote to recommend approval of this, and so there was no speakers on this item. Excuse me, there was one speaker in favor and none in opposition on the item.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Kirkman? Hearing none, and there is no one signed up for the public hearing, I would ask for a motion to adopt the ordinance, item I-13. Moved by Councilmember Black. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Councilmember Crawford. Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 9-0. I would now like to ask for a motion to adopt the ordinance item I-14, which will require a statement of consistency.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Marshall. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Councilmember Allen. Councilmember Marshall.
The Greensboro City Council believes its actions to approve the original zoning request for the property at 1410 Stewart Mill Road and a portion of Creek Road right-of-way to be consistent with the adopted GSO 2040 comprehensive plan, and considers the action taken to be reasonable and in the public interest for the following reasons. The request is consistent with the comprehensive plan's future built form map and future land use map. The proposed city R3 permits uses that fit the context of the surrounding area and limits negative impacts on adjacent properties. The request is reasonable due to the size, physical conditions, and other attributes of the area and will benefit the property owner and surrounding community, and approval is in the public interest.
All right, Council, please vote. Mayor Pro Tem?
Aye.
Thank you. And that carries 9-0. Thank you so much. Item I-15, resolution to close a portion of Fuller Street from its intersection with Midway Street southward to its terminus, Pretender Singh Sahiwal for Alora Living, Josephine LLC, and others. Mr. Kirkman.
Yes, thank you. So this request is a request to close a portion of unopened right-of-way from Fuller Street, basically south from its intersection with Midway Street. This came about as part of a conversation with development of property adjacent to this to the east that fronts on Josephine Boyd Street. So that's where this conversation came from. In terms of the street closing itself, this request was initiated by owners that have more than 50% of that road frontage along the street that requested this. All of the owners of the remaining road frontage that did not sign the initial petition to close the street were also notified of the public hearing date, time, and location by registered mail, which is required by state statute. Again, like I said, this is to facilitate adjacent development on South Josephine Boyd Street for multifamily development. In making determinations about the ability to close a street, city must make two findings: that one, the closing of that street to vehicular traffic is not contrary to the public interest, and that no property owner in the vicinity is deprived of reasonable means of ingress or egress. The Technical Review Committee reviewed the street closing request at their July 6th meeting, did recommend the closing of that based on those findings with two conditions, as you see on your screen. The Planning and Zoning Commission then also evaluated the street closing request at their July 20th meeting and also recommended that with those two conditions that this portion of the street be closed. And so that brings us to the hearing this evening.
Any questions for Mr. Kirkman?
Yeah, just a
Mr.
quick
Holston.
question. Yeah. So anyone impacted either knows about it.
Yeah, either signed the petition or was notified of the actions both at Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council.
So there are no outliers out there.
Correct. There's no objections that we're
wake
aware
up
of.
one day and find out the street closed.
Correct. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Hearing none. We don't have anyone signed up for the public hearing, so I would ask for a motion. Moved by Councilmember Block, seconded by Mr. Holston. Council, please vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem? And that passes 9-0. Thank you all for powering through those. We do not have any general business agenda items. I would like to see if anyone has any board and commission appointments for today. Councilmember Parker, no. Councilmember Marshall?
Yes, I would like to appoint Ashley White to the Historic Preservation Commission.
Do I hear a second? Seconded by Councilmember Thurm. All in favor, please say aye. That passes unanimously. Councilmember Crawford? Okay, I have one in a moment, but I'll go down the line first. Councilmember Thurm? Councilmember Holston? Councilmember Allen? Councilmember Black?
I have Karen Lilly. She filled a gap on the Commission on the Status of Women, but this will be her first term as appointment, so I want to appoint her or reappoint her.
Reappoint her.
It's filled out in the paperwork. She's
Super.
doing a great job.
And that's seconded by Councilmember Holston. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. And
Aye.
I'm sorry. Oh, that was Denise. Aye. Thank you, Denise. Mayor Pro Tem. All right, I have one, Kevin Lightsey for the GC Jack. Do I hear a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Holston. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay, great. That passes unanimously.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Okay, so I will have in just a moment matters by the city manager if he has anything to be presented. I did want to offer condolences to a few families in Greensboro. Chancellor Edward Fort, longtime chancellor of A&T State University, passed away. And also many of you knew Nicole Lindahl, who was in the biking community. She passed away. And if we could offer, condolences to those families, please. Thank you all very much. Mr. City Manager.
None tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Madam City Attorney? All right, I would accept a motion to adjourn. And that is moved, seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.